This is London with MarketHedge. We're paying attention to Bitcoin on the 4-hourly oversold line. I'm going to switch to that time frame, but I'm metriced into the lower time frame, the 15-second, to show some pickups and opportunities. Multi-time frame here showing you that 4-hourly low RSI of 30 at 106,145. We're going to go ahead and execute some orders. I would prefer to be down exactly onto the 4-hourly RSI, but I do believe we're close enough, just right on that level. Let's go ahead and stack some orders on MarketHedge. This is London with MarketHedge, former hedge fund owner, private, non-SEC, not financial advice. You'll see here I've executed 50 orders. Those 50 orders have 50 in terms of, pay attention, 50 is the increment or the distance in terms of price between each order. So I am in an account right now that you guys have seen work its way up from $10,000 to $398,000. Do not try this at home without plenty of practice and experience. Guys, those 100 rounds, absolutely, that's how we cut our teeth. I suggest you cut your teeth in terms of practice in the markets. That is 100 repeated small margin trades at high leverage. Yeah, absolutely. Just very little sting on each one and practice until you become consistent, 4 to 5 trades in a row, and then you are ready to raise your margin, and not until then. Remember, this is an entirely highly risky game. It's why we trade it. It's why we're involved in the market. So let's analyze here in terms of this topping formation that we looked at last night, yesterday. And in terms of the details, remember that I was really kind of cautious, to say the least, wasn't I? Maybe a little bit overly cautious, but the main driver of that was the MACD on the daily. You got it. That MACD kept dropping, price kept holding. I didn't like the divergence we were seeing on that higher time frame. And to the extent that you're looking for a pickup at that low RSI on the daily, you've got some room there, and it's been difficult to get down to. We did last Friday, you guys will recall that, about a week ago, in that real strong push down on the Trump Chinese tariff news. Looking at 34 right now, we'd like to get to that. 30 on the daily would be another excellent spot to potentially hammer in even a little heavier. I'm going to take off this. Why don't we do this? Why don't we just clear this up very quickly? I don't like to guys lose all my lines. I'll try and re-add them. But I wanted you to see here, we're very close also to that lower standard deviation on the daily. Now, it's curving to the downside, which gives the bears some additional comfort, saying we could continue to press down here, right, as that specific standard deviation on the lower end is continuing to drop. 4-hourly as well into the specific lower standard deviation. I'll just tell you, this is going to be a critical level to watch to see whether or not the bears could, whether or not they could reinforce the specific standard deviation as a level of resistance to push down below. So we always keep an eye on whether or not we're inside or outside of that standard deviation to the upside or downside on those Bollinger Bands. Now, you can see us just touching in here. I've given $2,500, okay, in terms of the spread on the Bitcoin price. In terms of the overall exposure, I just want to reinforce I'm not overexposed. This is a $400,000 account, and what are we here? We're at $76,000 is my total risk exposure in a $400,000 account. If what? If we power down through this $2,500 level here, or all these levels of orders. And why have I done this? You guys know very quickly, what's the 1, 2, 3 of trading the RSI? Well, I'm looking for a range trade. You guys got that right. What are the 3 possibilities of what can happen when we go from overbought to oversold? Well, the sellers getting to oversold could continue to sell. Price could continue to drop. That's option number 1. Everybody agrees, right? Option number 2 is going to be, now let's mark that. Sellers could continue to the downside. That's option number 1. Option number 2, we get a little bit of a relief, and then sellers engage again. So buyers can take control. Sellers can throw us back to the downside into oversold, or that nice level up to from oversold to overbought is what we're ideally looking for. That's my swing trade. And yes, I'm looking at the swing trade as the range identified by the RSI. I don't want it on the chart up here. I want my range defined and my swing trade defined by my 4-hourly RSI or my daily RSI. Can help you get into some bigger trades along with those lower time frames where this also does apply. Now, in terms of the details, let me get this video out to you. Understand that the trades that I have been doing have been very successful. However, on this specific trade, I just want to mind I would like you to mind the fact that while we're right on the specific 4-hourly RSI, you need to be covered down to, in terms of capital exposure, as last Friday taught us, capital exposure on down through an additional really $4,300, which would take you down to that specific daily RSI low level. This is an extraction here in terms of a multi-time frame and Wilder's RSI formula. I plotted it on the chart for your convenience, that 101,800 if you're long and stacking longs, if you're going to continue to bull this one through. In terms of that, first of all, congrats to anyone who caught the short. Given the specific downward MACD on the daily, that owned that. Very nicely done. Be looking for some potential pickup here prior pivot, and I guess the bottom line here is on this specific trade, please hear me out. I will try to get a video back to you when I decide to take this, okay? When I decide to take this specific trade, I'll try and give you another heads up on a video. But in terms of the entry, what I'm going to say is really in terms of that exit, I'm going to give it to the VIP in the back. We're going to be discussing that. They'll see where I clear this trade and clear these orders. It's one of the perks of being in the back. Shout out to J-Mac. Looking forward to you trading. Remember, guys, never overexposed to any higher price, always with heavy cash reserves. And yeah, we'll be in the back. We'll be trading. It's a pleasure to have you guys in the back. Great charts and just a great team. Looking forward to the rest of 2025, seeing what we can get done. This is London with MarketHedge. Let's go. Let's go Bitcoin for hourly oversold.